I guess this is my part 2 of the video, but I don't even know if it's going to have anything to do with the first one, other than I see that Chris wasn't happy about my responses or whatever, my reply to his video. Don't always think, Chris, that just because I reply to your video that I'm going to watch your video and go topic by topic. I'm not going to write a bunch of notes down and take each little point that you made and try to refute it. It's just not how I'm going to do things. You might not like that, but that's just the way I'm going to. I look at some of the things that you say, and I know that other people are watching, and when I see something that's really ridiculous coming out of your mouth, for instance, I know everybody else sees that too. Your justification for yelling at the 18-year-old girl, she's not a girl, she's a woman, she's 18. At least she said she's 18. If she's not 18, well, she shouldn't be on YouTube saying she's 18. It's just, who cares about all that nonsense? You said she shouldn't be able to vote, or you said she was too stupid to vote, and you called her a dumb bitch, or I don't know what, but I just watched this rude ass comment to a girl that's the same age as my son. So excuse me if I think of her as a girl, but I didn't call her a little girl. So if you want to talk to women that way, Chris, keep on going with it, you know. One of these days, maybe one of them might, never mind. You'll learn about that someday. Now you're going to come on and say, oh, I had a girlfriend. Give it a rest, man. Let it slide off your back. And you tell me not to take things serious. If I see something that you say and it pisses me off like it did yesterday, I'm going to come on and frickin' tell you about it. That's all. I think there might be hope for you. You might not believe this, dude, but I think someday you're going to give up your frickin' Wicca nonsense. I think you will. I think you'll find a woman, get married, have some kids, and all that fantasy world stuff is going to be crap that, damn, I better delete all my YouTube videos and my MySpace and my, because it's going to be embarrassing to you. Maybe it won't, but I've gone through life never having met face to face with a witch. I think it's a little more rare than going through life without, I mean, I see Christians every day. I see some Muslims coming around every once in a while. I see Jewish people. I see all kinds of religions. Don't see a whole lot of witches, or they don't talk much about the religion. Something, but I digress. I think one of the mistakes a lot of people make, and I'm not talking about just Chris, or just the Democrats, or just the Republicans, but I find this a lot in debating politics. And I don't know if there's a term for it. It's kind of like, well, but what about, that's what I'll call it, the well, but what about factor. It goes something like this. I will say, I don't think Barack Obama would be a good president because I listen to the way he talks about economics, and I think that he is a little too Marxist for me. Just as an example. I think maybe he wants to really spread the wealth around. Some of the things that he said, some of the gut feeling that I have is he really believes that we should take money from one group of people that earn that money and give that money to people that need it more than those other people. And I would think to myself, you know, that sounds pretty good on the face of things. But I would realize that would mean someone, presumably in the government, would have to decide what is too much. We already have the government deciding what's too little to pay wages for people, which is ridiculous. The wage of a person is a contract between an employer and employee. Some might think that people are too stupid to negotiate that price with an employer, but if a job became available down the street right now and they wanted to pay a nickel an hour, I don't think anybody's going to go work there. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of money on the short end. But to illustrate a point on why something's not a good idea, sometimes you have to take the ridiculous route. If somebody was going to pay 50 cents an hour, probably wouldn't have much luck there either. But there is a price that employer will keep raising that offer. And somewhere there's going to be a place where somebody will do that work for whatever that is. If that's $5 or $4, my son, he's 17. He'll go on the computer. He has a little site he goes on. He makes a little bit of money. He buys things and sells it on eBay. One summer he made a couple $1,000 doing it that way when he was 15. But he might take an offer to go work right now for $4 an hour if he wanted the money bad enough. But the government says, no, you can't do that. So who's that hurting? My son, for one, because he wouldn't mind doing it. But you can't make a living off of minimum wage. The assumption there, the wrong assumption there is, you start a job with minimum wage, you'll always be getting paid minimum wage. It's just a wrong assumption. But the bottom line is, I don't want the government saying what must be given for labor. That's a contract between a sovereign individual and the employer. Now, if someone was to force that person to work, that'd be a different story. But again, on the other side of the spectrum, I'm watching a football game right now. Quarterback might be getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for playing in this game tonight. And you and I might look at that and think, that's ridiculous. Why is he getting that kind of money? He's getting that kind of money because there's someone willing to pay him that kind of money. Who am I to say, that's too much? You can make that money, but you can only make $1,000, because I didn't make $1,000 this week even, so you can't have even $1,000, even though your employer wants to pay you $100,000 for this game that you're playing right now. Who's going to make that call? Who is going to be the person that is going to make that determination on how rich Chad is going to get with his rap music? I'll tell you who's going to make that determination. The people that may or may not buy his CDs. And Chad himself, who is either going to do well enough or not do well enough, laying down his dope tracks. He is the one. He has the right to pursue happiness. But the government's not obligated to provide that happiness for anyone. That's where people get mistakes in their mind. The right to pursue, but there's no guarantees. Don't tell me there's going to have to be a part 3, because we're already at 10 minutes and I'm rambling. All right, I'm going to stop for now and upload it.